Hello there, and welcome to the CP7 podcast. My name's Parm.
And I'm Andy.
And together, we are Chrono Passion 7. Hello, and welcome back to your favourite watch-related podcast. We've been away for a little while, but today we're going to make up for it with a very special guest. Some might say he's a designer, a visual thinker, an engineer by instinct, and a bit of a cigar aficionado. We have none other than Armand Billard from Sartory Billard. Welcome to the show, Armand.
Hello, Parm. Hello, Andy. I'm super happy to see you after we've met like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, Geneva Watch Days.
Warm welcome, Armand, from my side as well. A pleasure to have you on the show. And the most important question, really, I have to ask before we kick things off is, what's on the wrist today? What are you wearing?
So I'm wearing the usual SB04E with aventurine dial, because this is clearly the dial that I prefer. It blends with everything, goes very, very well with my casual dress or suits or whatever. And I like to pair the watches with white straps. I'm doing this now for a couple of years. I really like it. Okay, Americans say that you're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day or something like this. They have a
Labor
saying
Day,
around
yes,
that.
that's right, yeah.
I'm French. So, the bizarre...
Is it Labor Day?
Weed. No, we don't. We have something... No. So, but I learned this week. This little phrasing. I like this kind of stuff. So, no, I'm wearing aventurine SB04E white strap. This is kind of my daily wear now for fairly many months.
Very, very nice. Very fresh, very clean. The white strap for the last bit of the summer, right?
Yeah.
Great choice. Palm, what do you have to offer?
Well, what I'm wearing today is, God, it's quite boring now. I'm actually going all out tough. I've got a G-Shock on, a GA2100. I've not worn this for a while, but it's cooled down a bit in London. It's grey outside, it's raining. So I thought I'd wear something that just suited the mood. It's a black version with white indices. What more can you say about a G-Shock 21? They call it the Casio as well, because of its similarity to the Audemars Piguet Offshore. But it's nowhere near that price, and I feel a lot safer wearing it around London. So that's what I've got on my wrist.
Classic.
Andy, what have you got?
No surprise. I'm wearing the St. Moritz by Chopard. So nothing has changed. I'm still thinking I'm in Geneva, even though I'm in Barcelona. So I've gone for the factory set diamond dial, and yeah, I can't resist the two-tone.
We were talking 5 minutes ago about Miami Vice. I mean, look at these shirts and the hairs and the golden three-tone watch. I mean, all in.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Yeah, he's all in.
Undercover detective in the watch industry.
He's going to be the new Periscope.
But yeah.
I mean, especially
I'm not sure about that.
Are you close by the sea or something like this?
Actually, very, very close. I live, I won't give my location away too much, but I live very close to the port of Barcelona.
Nice. With the statue of Christopher Columbus pointing at Italy.
Exactly, yeah.
The other direction.
Exactly there, yeah. Just at the bottom of Las Ramblas, yeah.
Nice. And he has a pet crocodile as well. Pet alligator.
An inflatable
pet alligator,
one,
yeah.
Alligator.
A little boat, little dinghy that can be his boat with an alligator in it. But anyway, enough of this. Yeah,
midlife crisis.
Armand, we want to know about you. So tell us a bit about yourself and why you started Sartory Billard.
So my name is Armand Billard. I'm French, born and raised in Paris exactly 50 years ago. I started as a designer. My dad is an engineer, had a big influence on me, obviously infusing some major interest into engineering and machinery and stuff. It was his daily job by the time he was in activity. But I was really much drawn to the artistic side, like taking drawing lessons since I was 12 and stuff. And probably not good enough in math and physics and chemistry and all these things. So when I reached 15 or 16, you have something that you must do in France, is that you must apply for 1 week internship. Usually the parents help you, of course. They call it like work observation. And so my dad was, one of his friends was working as an engineer in Renault. They had a design team. And that was kind of new. I mean, of course, design existed like for a couple of decades. We are talking like in the 90s, yeah, early 90s. So he got me to join for 1 week the department that was designing the motors of the trucks. There was this flamboyant Italian guy that was leading the department, Mr. Stropa, if my memory is correct. And I just discovered the perfect work, actually. You would spend your time drawing, talking very, very closely to all the engineers and to all the production guys. And I knew that that was the job I would go. So from there on, I had to focus on what I wanted to do during my studies. So get my bachelor degree and then hop in a design school. First of all, like a couple of years of pure artistic school, then design school, 4 years of that. And then when I was 24, just a little bit earlier, maybe, I was presenting my diploma in my design school. At the time, I was already pre-employed by a big design agency in Paris. But at the moment that I could have joined them, they've been bought out by a larger firm. So all the employment and stuff were frozen. But during my diploma session, the design manager from Alcatel was there, saw my work, and told me, "You're starting next Monday in Alcatel studio." And that was 99, because like I had 4 months to prepare and design some very innovative products around phones that never existed, like PDAs and stuff. Like everything was orange, round, bio design stuff. And so I had to produce all the concept designs and futuristic vision for Alcatel for Geneva Telecom 99. That was the thing at this time.
That's so strange, Armand. Sorry, I just want to. I know Alcatel really well. I used to work in telecoms, and I've been to the UK office they had here. It's near Celtic Manor, the famous golf course in Wales, I believe. Yeah, crazy. Alcatel. I never thought I'd hear that name on our podcast.
Until 2 years ago, and maybe a little bit more, because the time of production is very low. I'm doing design for 10 years, but for the first 5 years, I had been designing all the phones at Alcatel for 20 years. So if you have a desk phone that is an Alcatel Lucent one, I'm the one who designed the phone.
I must have seen one of your phones back in the day then, because that's so strange.
Like millions of them.
Yeah. No, but that's so crazy. Alcatel, gosh, I'd even forgotten that existed. You know, they're like, okay, yeah.
Today they
I remember
call
going to
Lucent. They merged like
Lucent, yes.
2 years ago with Lucent, the American guy. Okay, so that was my past life. Fast forward, I'm creating a design agency, having Alcatel as a customer and many, many other French brands in the tech. And then in 2015, when I was turning 40 exactly, a larger consultancy group bought the agency and freed myself from the daily struggle of managing a team of 12, 15%. That was really like a day-to-day managing in a design agency. The agency was called Caïman Design and was one of the big three in France. So I get freed of this and just decided to turn around completely my life and make watches. Et voilà.
Wow, that's quite a turnaround. So then Sartory Billard, what was the journey to that?
So I'm turning 40 in 2015. My good friend Ludovic Sartory talks with me 1 year before that and say, for our 40th birthday, instead of buying a Rolex or whatever, like you're a designer, why don't we make a watch? So like, challenge accepted. So I pull like few strings. My design teacher at the time, when I was a student, was already into watches, making a brand that is called 4N. His name is François Quentin. He was the designer from the very first watches of Haute-Lance, of Vuitton. The tambour, back in these days, was designed by François Quentin. So he helped me, give me a handful of contact. We make, Ludovic and I, the first watch. We named the company Sartory Billard, 2 family names. Start like this, make the first watches, have a watchmaker to assemble them, sell 30 of them, just friends and family in Paris. Then I just like go on the path. Like Ludovic quit about, I don't know, 4 years after, because he's an IT guy and a little bit less interested into watches than me. I created the SB02 with the interchangeable bezels, and then the customization start. The O3 doesn't really exist. The O4 is the one that put me on the map with the titanium dials. I fell in love with the between work because I'm a stupid stubborn, just want to understand how you make polished titanium dials. Still today, I believe the between and I are the only one being able to make polished and anodized titanium dials, which is logical given the fact that it's the most painstaking and difficult and unindustrialized way of making a dial. The failure rate is like no one with sense should do this for a business. When I was starting, I would have like a 90% failure rate. And given the fact that you can spend like a solid half a day on one dial to polish it, you can sometimes lose a full week of work, 10 dials to have one good. And selling the watch for €3,000, I mean, just doesn't make any fucking sense. So,
No, it doesn't.
Nuts.
but you have to start somewhere. And actually, I'm very grateful that I'm so stubborn and stupid at the same time, because like doing this just really put me on the map. And I had like crazy collectors supporting my work. The first years, like you really struggling. I was making probably 50 watches per year, selling them quite cheap, had a support family. My wife is a doctor. I mean, she's very good on this.
Okay.
But like you too, I'm supporting a family and a house and everything. And some customers would know this and send me some easier projects just to keep a little bit of money in while I was struggling with this stuff. And then slowly, I discovered process. I discovered other way to make dials. I discovered guilloché stones. And I really got into the fact that these customers, these patrons at the very beginning would say, I would like a watch with this kind of color, this kind of design, this kind of stuff. And the word of mouth spread. And I became you want one watch that is not available on the shelf, or you want something like with your kid's name on the dial, or to celebrate your engagement, or give honor to your late father, or this kind of stuff. I mean, you have this guy, he worked this out. And actually, I absolutely love this, because this is the pure opposite of what I was doing when I was a designer in my studio. I would create products that would be done in the hundreds of thousands or millions, like phones. I switched completely to do pièce unique, to get to talk with every single of my customers, know them, visit them, or them visiting me, knowing about the kids, the family, the struggle in life and everything. And of course, it's not like linear, it's not uniform. Sometimes it's more dense with one guy, and then it's spread out a little bit, and then you have another connection stuff. But on the human point of view, this is so rich. This is just like this morning, the truth is, like a guy from America called Don wrote me and say, I made a watch like 4 years ago. Do you remember? Of course I remember. Like, you like to walk by the lakes in Canada.
Wow.
Every time you have a moment in your holidays, you take big hikes. And this is why we made this watch with the blue guilloché and blah, blah, blah. And so that was like the reconnection. My memory was intact, and that was 4 years ago. And now we are talking since this morning for a new project with Damascus dial, because it was in the knife industry, which I didn't know actually, and rose gold accent and stuff like this. I mean, this is great. I'm the opposite of Amazon.
Yes.
I'm pushing cart.
That's quite remarkable, actually. You're not a big conglomerate. You are a one-man show which makes things that the people want.
We are two.
Two-man
show.
No. Oh, sorry, two-man
one woman. I hired a young woman 2 weeks ago, just 1 week before Geneva, actually. And she helps me on project management, design, and stuff. And it's working very good so far. Right?
Excellent. That's quite a story there. Inspirational story, I think, to us all. Just, I want to make a watch. I'm turning 40. Best thing to do.
Go for it.
I'm actually, one watch is on the way to Seattle to maybe see the show. Hello, James. A watch to celebrate his 40th birthday.
Oh, wow. Well, happy 40th, James. We hope you like the watch, and we hope you listen to the show first. Otherwise, I'm talking to myself. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to talk a bit. Another question a bit later on about the bespoke designs you do. And there's a friend of mine who actually, we'll talk about that. Like I said, there's a friend of mine who got one made from yourself and you knew him instantly. But Andy, you had a question.
Many questions come to mind the more you hear the story unfold. But I think take it back a little bit to the design and the philosophies behind the design. What would you say your design language is, and like what inspired your creative style for the designs you do? Because I give an example, when I first got hands on with your brand, I think it was the SBO4E titanium, which I first handled. And the connection I had was very tactile. There's a big connection with the materials and also just the beauty and aesthetic of the dial. So I'm just curious to let our listeners know a little bit more what goes into the thought process and what are the most important elements for you when designing a watch.
I'm really putting a lot of intention in the design. I will take every single element of the watch and ask myself, is it nice looking? I'm extremely convinced for decades now that design is the solution to everything. And for me, like, it's a very, very deep belief. You can have a very lousy engineered or thought product, or the way to use it is complex and everything. If the design is good, it will be a marvelous product. And on the other way, you can have the most perfect technically product and most advanced tech and blah blah, and if the design is not good, it doesn't make any sense, or the product lose 100% of its interest. So for me, design is absolutely everything, and of course design is highly subjective. So what I'm considering like nice, just to start with the shape of the watch or the proportion of the hands or the way I'm doing the numbers on the sapphire disc and stuff. Some people won't like it, and that's perfectly fine. But I prefer to take a strong position on the design, but not extreme. Like, I really respect the work of Urwerk, for example, but it's really extreme. Or De Bethune also they have an extremely courageous design language. So I'm not that bold. I make watches that are easy to wear, are nice looking, where the most of the elements of the watch are refined and done with intention. And yes, the tactile element that you mentioned is very important for me. The way that I'm holding the crown is usually the first thing that I have the contact with a watch, and I will immediately feel uncomfortable if the crown of a watch is too small or too big, or not nice to wind, this kind of stuff. And I'm surprised. I'm extremely surprised by the number of brands and watches that have like shitty crown. And I don't find any excuse.
Can you name those?
Yeah, I mean, like,
maybe we have to beep them out.
if it's too small, you don't have torque to wind. If it's too big, it hurts your flesh on your wrist. If it protrudes too much, it's not nice. If it's too flush, you can't wind, blah blah blah. So it's very easy to basically end up to something that is where the function need to beat the aesthetic. That's a design choice, but it has also to be also very aesthetic. And for example, if IWC, and I say it because it's a brand that I respect a lot, is making some ceramic watches, the Pilot one, in the beautiful sand color. They worked out the ceramic so well, and they're doing
Mojave.
the steel crown on the watch. I mean, I just want to take the designer and smash his head, because he didn't think about this and I don't understand the point. Or it didn't have the balls to go to the marketing team that would say, oh no, you use the steel crown because we have like 100 billions in stock and I don't want to make a ceramic one. And I'm going to say, I mean, no, you don't have any excuse. You can coat metal with ceramic. You can CNC ceramic and make it as an external cover with metal inside. This kind of stuff, this is visibly a choice that I cannot explain to myself. There is no other part into the watch that is metal. They're putting this. This is like a huge pimple on the nose, and it doesn't. Okay, so I shut up, Armand. But it's this kind
No,
of.
I just want to add, sorry, for the listeners, I feel a bit scared for this designer because Armand's 6'5", so yeah, watch out.
He's coming for you.
I start with a couple of tears, so maybe he can of relieve himself from I had to do this because otherwise they would.
Exactly.
But I don't.
Sorry, you were saying. Yeah.
I don't understand. So whatever. So I will take like all the elements in the watch and try to make as nice and as good as possible. But this is my vision. And there will be much more people that will not agree with me, and some people will accept or will find the steel crown on the ceramic IWC wonderful, and I'm fine. But I think design needs a debate, and design needs to be considered for every single element. So it is the buckle that is designed with the logo. I mean, you're buying a 5,000 euro watch. I'm putting a lot of effort, so the least I can do is like to have like a nice logo into the watch. But if you're buying a 50,000 euro watch and it's the same off the shelf buckle just with the name engraved on this, like how lazy it is. You can do much better. And then little details like the concave bezel, because concave bezel keeps the watch pristine much more than a convex one, because the wears and tears from the daily life are protected and just usually touch the edges but never touch the bezel. It keeps it much more shinier. The fact that the lugs are very short, it goes to many wrists. I can't understand watches with tiny 37 millimeter dials or case and like lugs that are 1.5 centimeters, and then the strap is straight and you can see like a full centimeter of flesh and hairs. This is horrible. So
So proportions are very important to you.
Yeah.
Like
you
the
got to get it
proportions
right.
have to be right. Yeah. Balance.
There are some brands that I really respect, even if we are competitors on a very fierce and difficult market. But there are definitely like a handful of brands where I see that the guys have been working and taking design really in consideration. And I can tell like on an instant the brand that have no designer.
Well,
Yeah.
deep. Yeah, we've been. Armand has for the first time silenced us. It's the first time on the podcast where we are lost for words.
Do you know what I'm thinking about? I'm just thinking about, could we not make the ceramic crown due to technical limitations?
Like, no.
Was it cracking all the time or not?
Come on. It's IWC.
Yeah.
I mean, there is
no
like, because I've been talking this point with owners and guys and stuff, and I'm working on tantalum cases for these ones. And making a tantalum crown, I've been doing tantalum crown from one solid block, but it's not the easiest way. So very quickly, the discussion is to say, okay, we're going to make the inside of a crown in steel, have a mechanical function, and just like bring like a cover in tantalum for the visual and the holding part actually of the crown. I mean, we can make ball bearings in ceramic. We can make like knives, like kitchen knives, and they cost like 10 quid, like in ceramics. I mean, the IWC, the pilot crown is like a huge one. It's not a very tiny crown. It's like 8 or 9 millimeters, even a centimeter in diameter. It's big. Prove me that you can't make it in ceramic. I don't believe this. I really don't believe this. And if you can't, then you'll make it in steel and you'll use a technology that is called Cerakote. Cerakote was developed for military purposes to cover guns in ceramic and moving parts in ceramic. This is how hard it holds on steel for rifles and stuff. I mean, I've been doing this on tiny parts to Cerakote some parts of watches. Take a steel crown and Cerakote it in white. If there is a wear and tear in 20 years, change it. But at least for 20 years, you have a bloody white crown.
Yeah, Cerakote is very good. It's a good idea.
So I don't understand. I can't get it. I can't. And it's not even a design stuff because there is no other steel accent into the watch. So it's not I'm playing there, but I have a pusher on the other side that is steel. So I'm balancing. I'm kind of, no, it's just like,
Same with the materials. No, it's just a random material. What shouldn't be there. Yeah,
that offends. That seems to offend some. Yeah.
I'll never look at it the same way again.
When I saw the watch at the very first time, it is a beautiful watch, but I was such in a bad mood after seeing this.
I never noticed that actually, but now I think there's some things you can't unsee now. I think every time I see that now, I'm going to be like, oh, no.
It's ruined.
No good. That's it. It's ruined it. But I just want to talk about, the next question I have is around the bespoke, the idea of bespoke watches, because a lot of independent brands are quite unique with what they do, but what Sartory Billard does is it's very well known that you add those little touches for your customer if they so wish. And one, you seem to remember every customer you've had, and a couple you've mentioned before. Actually, I want to mention when I first met you was at a limited edition event, and I showed you a watch that a friend of mine had, and you said, "Oh, that's Sanjeev's watch. He's your friend, is he?" And it was like, "Oh my God, wow! How did you know that?" So one, well, let me try and word this question in the best way possible. Everything you do you remember everyone that you've done it for, and what is it about them that stands out to you?
No, I that would be extremely presumptuous to say I remember all the watches that I've ever made. I made more than 1,000 bespoke pieces over the decade, so I don't remember all. I do remember the watches when the owner, the wearer, the one has fed me with human relation and something that is worth noticing, remembering. And it's a very wide spectrum. That can be just like a hint. There is always something that that will link me to the customer. Sometimes a personal story, a personal choice, a place that we met. I can be very, very bad with the names because I will remember the face. I will remember where I met the person. Probably I'll fuck up the names or forget it. But this is my brain works like this. I'm super visual. And then it's just about human stories. The person will come and wants to have the name of the kids and or celebrate his coming wedding, or as I said, pay homage to someone in his family, or has a very bold vision on the aesthetics also. So I do remember a lot of them. I can't remember all of them. And sometimes some of the watches bring like a big flash of emotion, or I remember where I was doing the watch, or how I was making the watch, or why we designed the watch like this. It's extremely important for me because I'm living in a very, very remote village in France, close to the German border, in the middle of nowhere. The first registered watchmaker about me is 150 kilometers away. So it's really if I don't have this connection with the customers, I could feel very, very lonely working in my home. Actually, I really love working from home. It has a ton of advantages. But also, doing what I do is extremely meaningful. Let's not forget that I had also the moment or the momentum for the brand was during COVID. And we all remember this moment where we couldn't travel, we were stuck at home, and we're just doing FaceTime and Zoom and stuff. And that kept me busy, and that kept me in connection with people that I didn't know. Otherwise, you would stay with your friends, or you would, I don't know, like play chat roulette. And
Actually, what made you want to do that? Why didn't you just take not the easy route? Okay, independent watching, they're all different. There's a slight nuance to each one. But what made you want to be so bespoke and unique? What was the motivation behind that?
The deep love I have for every different human being. So I was fortunate enough when I was 30 years old. I took 2 years with my cousin, and I traveled the world for 2 years, writing a book about 100 UNESCO sites we visited.
Oh, wow.
What I found incredible in these 2 years is that, first of all, you get to understand geography, you get to understand culture, you get to really open and change your point of view on different person, culture, religion, habits, customs, whatever. So that was really, really good, really enlightening. I also really loved what I call the geopolitical / religious puzzle in the world. You see that everything articulates through time and geography, but if you don't travel, you don't feel that. You just know that this place is, I don't know, Catholic, and this other one is Protestant, and this border and the change, they're Muslims, and this one they're Hindu, and why. And if you look it from your room with the book, you don't understand. But when you're traveling, going through the routes, through the mountains, because you have to go there to go from here to here, you understand the change in culture, in religion, in way to live. And that was like the most beautiful 2 years of my life. And then when I get to do this work, as soon as I realized that doing bespoke would be a substitute for traveling, that was just wonderful, because I would take a Zoom call with somebody from, I don't know, Taiwan. If I look there, I have a huge map on the wall, like 3 meters by 2 or something like this, with pins
on the
where
wall,
I have customers, and also the travel that I did with a red rope and stuff like this, and places that I visited. And so, I would talk with someone from Asia, and then hop on with I don't know, American guy and Mexican one, or whatever, Australian. And that was great. I remember one day I was with one of my first customers. Is an American guy, but he's living in Melbourne or Sydney in Australia, definitely. And I'm talking with this guy, and I'm making him a watch with Burgundy polished titanium dial and Breguet numerals and stuff. And I can't remember his name, which is stupid. I see his face.
Well, there you go, Ben. You proved you don't remember all of them.
And at the same time, in the house, my daughter is at the time probably 7, 8, and they're learning time fuses. And we have this globe, and Daphne, my big daughter, is like, so the sun is there, and here it's day, but here is night, and it feels like it doesn't make any sense. I say, hold on, Michael. And I called Michael, and that was Saturday morning for us. And I sent him a message like, can I get like 5 minutes of your time? And he's the dad, he knows the drill with the kids. And I said, like, I want to show my daughters that in Australia this is night now. I say, yeah, no worries. And we had like a 2-minute WhatsApp, and my daughter was like, okay, it's Saturday morning here, but this guy in Australia, it's night. Okay. And this is a beautiful example. It gives so much sense.
Broader understanding of the world and how it operates. It's not just the little space we sit in. I mean, that's an amazing story.
Especially
as well.
Today, I mean, everybody's fighting and arguing and stuff. Like, it's so crazy.
Crazy times we live in. Crazy times. But to liven them up, I know Andy's going to ask a question now. I'm sure he's going to ask. But we're going to have a little game. I've just thought of a little game we'll have at the end. But we'll put a pin in that until the end. So, Andy, go, fire away.
I'm getting nervous about this game now.
That's good. It's all good.
I hope it's not too challenging.
Good fun.
Do we need alcohol?
It's for Armand. No, it's for Armand. We're fine.
Okay, phew. All right, we're good. That's fine then. Many questions, and I probably won't have time to ask them all. But I think going just back to the bespoke, it'd be nice to know a little bit more, especially for listeners who maybe are considering going down that route. What's the journey? What does it look like? So day one, I contact you to have a watch made. What's the process? How does it all start and begin?
The process is a talk. It's a conversation between you and me, either by phone, video call, or WhatsApp messages. It will start like, I would like a watch, and then there is one thread that I will pull on. Is it a memory? Is it a color that you want? Is it a material that you're seeking? Is it like an emotion you want to catch? You know Mark from London that was also at the limited edition? You probably see him in Geneva. Mark B. from London in his 40s, 50s.
I think at the Singer event, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Maybe, yeah. He was with a crew from limited edition, I remember.
Definitely. So he was in Geneva like 2 weeks ago, and we talked together and said, I want to make like 2 watches, one for each of my daughters to celebrate a point in their studying journey. I won't say anything because if they would listen. So one is more into this, and the other one is more into that. And I would like to make a watch for myself. I said, okay, what are you looking for? And like, there is like it doesn't know, it's a little bit floating. I don't know. He's collecting watches, the stuff. And then we're talking. And he says like, there is this lava stone because of Santorini in Greek island. I believe he met like somebody who is very important, or there is like a personal link with that
connection.
And he got like, yes, there is Santorini and the lava stone and blah blah, and said like obsidian. He said like, what? Obsidian is lava stone. I mean, you take this stone and you can make nice, and we embark, and the choice was made in 5 minutes, and he was just ecstatic, just saying yes. And so I now have 10 years of habits of talking with the customers, knowing so many crafts, so many materials, so many possibilities, that you'll start somewhere, you'll give me bits and crumbs, and I will pull on the threads and bring it and say, oh, maybe that, and maybe. And if I see that you're like not convinced, like, okay, leave it and go somewhere else. So it's really like the co-creation, actually. People are usually afraid. They say, like, one of the things that I have often by email or messages, I would like to have a bespoke watch, but I'm not creative. That's right. I'm the one, actually. But you coming with the project, if you believe that you're yourself not creative, let me prove you wrong. And actually, this is a way to discuss and a way to, just to create something that is meaningful for you. It doesn't mean that it has to be extravagant. Doesn't mean that you have to create like a painting with a lot of colors and sometimes less is more. But what I want you to have at the end when you're making a watch with me, and say like, I'm going to tell you why this watch is really meaningful for me. Not like just I bought it because like I want this stuff and I had a raise and I could finally afford. This is a nice story too. I mean, don't get me wrong. But I fell in love in a place where they have like lava and blah blah, and I make this watchmaker, and so every time that I'm looking at this watch, it reminds me this happening in my life or whatever.
It's a personal connection, right?
Yes, much more deep than I had my bonus at the end of the year, and I can now buy my Patek. I mean, it's much more than this.
Yeah, it's a really nice way of explaining it. So it's not just, hey, I can make a fancy custom watch and pick various different dials. It's really you tapping into the customer, understanding what really matters to them, and then bringing that out in the design of a watch, right? And
it also answers your question, Parm. I will remember the ones that feed me with emotions also.
With the romance and emotion, right? Okay, that's... What's the most complex? I mean, I don't know. How long would that take? Sorry. That. No, No, this isn't the game yet. The game's coming after this. But how long does it take to a typical beginning to end with a consultation with the customer?
So the design phase can take, from 1 hour to a month.
Oh, wow.
There is no rule. You don't have any pressure. You don't pay anything until you have the design. If you need a month to think and sleep over it and just choose wisely, perfectly fine. It's part of the game. Actually, the balance of the customers that know extremely quickly what they want and the one that are extremely slow makes that on average a design would be chewed on and worked during probably 2 weeks. Doesn't mean every day. Doesn't mean
Wow.
like
Okay.
talking to you, I'm taking a couple of days to making the designs, reviewing them, changing a couple of things. Probably there will be between 3 to 5 iterations from the moment that we have a solid path to work on. Then I will ask for a deposit that will allow me to buy all the necessary parts for the watch. I don't hold stock there. So I have movements and bits of and parts and stuff like this, but because every watch will be different. So from the moment that I'm asking 50% of the watch, I'm buying and requesting the components and the work from also the different craftsmen that will work for me. Hand painting, engraving, wood inlays, stone cutters, jewelers, whatever, engravers. And I will make the watch. And on the quickest, I would say it would take 3 months. And on the longest one, a year. Like for extremely complex projects where you need
Still quite fast.
average is probably 5 months today.
Wow, 5 months.
Yeah, 5 months I think seems reasonable on average time to deliver a watch. You always have some things that can take more time, of course, but yeah.
Has there ever been a point when you've had to say no? So if somebody comes to you and it doesn't align with what,
No, I've been fortunate enough to never had a design that would be extremely provocative or dangerous for the brand or something like this. I had to refuse one work from a gentleman from Netherlands who wanted the Star Wars logos and persons or logos on the dial. And I said that I wouldn't go this route because of IP stuff. Didn't want to play that. And he said, okay.
Yeah, the copyright and everything, yeah.
Yeah. But that was the only project that I remember refusing.
So that's good. So people understand when they're coming to you what it's truly about, and
and
not
also
some bizarre.
there is a question saying like, but how do you ensure that the watch is nice? And I say, well, the proportion of the watch are nice. I'm working on this. On the design, you talked about something that really is really meaningful for me is the tactile approach on the watch. But everything that is within the dial, I don't hold the good taste thing. This is what I can surely say because I've been traveling so much. If you're from Europe, you would appreciate this kind of tones for this meaning and blah blah. And you would go to Sri Lanka. I was talking about Alcatel. Alcatel, we make like usually dark gray, boring phones. And I remember when I was designing for Alcatel, they had a market that came up from Sri Lanka. And the guy in charge of the market say, okay, we want the phones, but they have to be like dark pigeon blood.
Pigeon blood. Is that
It's a very
Yeah, it's a very dark,
It's not.
dark red kind of, Cartier kind of color,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
and actually that was a very nice thing in the design studio because that was clearly okay. There are some places that they really like colors and they want colors in their professional environment. And of course, we wouldn't sell one phone in red color in Europe, but in Sri Lanka, they like it very much. So this is the same when I'm making a watch. If you're from this place, this culture, that this color is meaningful for you, I don't have to discuss this point of view. And even I have a even better example. I forgot the name, but one customer came up said, "I'm colorblind, so don't talk about any colors." So I made the watch in an orange. What was it, like orange and not blue, but like pale something, whatever. And we were choosing the colors, showing these Pantone stuff. And the guy would say, I can't remember, this is in the early days, like say, okay, from here to there, this is all one color for me. So I don't care. And then we would say, oh, this one I see more bright. And that. But this is so early in the step, I can't barely have a picture of the watch. But I remember this stuff. Anyway,
Wow.
So how can I judge this? The guy is colorblind. So the retina is defect. So we have to work with something that makes sense for him. And I'm like 1000% agree for this kind of project.
Now that's quite the task to make a watch, a colourful watch for a man who's colourblind. It's obviously blue greens and stuff. Obviously, there's only certain colours that you can't see, but still quite the challenge.
I have one of my best friends that I made a watch for him in the early days, and he had to send me the watch maybe last year, something like this. Say the numbers are too small. I can't read them anymore. So we changed the numbers, or I changed the numbers on the watch, so they're a little bit like bigger, so you can see the numbers better. Like, how can I argue? I can say, oh, it's not nice looking. I mean, like, change your eyes, do something. Like, you want them bigger? You don't see. I mean, it's a watch. You get to see the time, so we'll make it bigger. I mean, there is
the customer is always right, as they say, right? So
yeah, especially there.
Right, that segues nicely into this little game I just thought up. You need to design, if you can, a watch for this podcast. So, what do you need to know?
There's no motive behind this.
We haven't got 2 months. we haven't got 2 months. We've probably got about 10 minutes. But okay, what would you need to know from us about that? Not for Andy and I individually. This is to make it easier, just for the podcast.
Where did you two meet? In which circumstances?
We actually met online. On
through a dating
YouTube
app.
channel. Yeah. Not but no, it was on YouTube actually. On a YouTube channel. Yeah, not a dating app. No, it was a watches YouTube
and
community.
Channel.
Yeah,
no, we don't do that anymore. So I wouldn't want so YouTube to be
there.
No,
I could talk about like where you're from, or so you've been meeting through YouTube, or is there something that you always agree or always disagree? Is there a running joke between you two on watches?
Less is more. That's definitely one.
No, I hate that. But one watch we don't like, we always agreed to disagree on, is the Tudor Ranger.
The Tudor?
Ranger.
It's,
we don't like that watch.
You don't like that.
But but we do like, well, we like so many. We agree on most watches, actually. Specifically, what would you need to know? Because we've only got about 10 minutes.
If I were to do this exercise, I would find something in between you that either makes you funny one to each other, to have fun on the watch, remembering or celebrating the bond that is between you. So it could be the evocation
Miami Vice.
of different place. you could have a watch for you, Parm, that is really way too much Starkey and Hutch and way too much Miami Vice for you. And
Starsky and Hutch. You know what? That's a really cool one, actually. I don't think Andy's too young for all this kind of stuff, but I'm not. Starsky and Hutch. Yeah, that's a good one. Red and white.
If your friend in the daily life, apart from this, like I would probably create a watch that is neutral enough to make you agree on the design. But there would be I would switch details that are absolutely not yourself into the other watch. So I would do something very Londonish for Andy's watch and something that is very Barcelona for Parm's one, because so you would kind of bond together even if you're looking at the watch and not looking only at your watch. This is what I would do if I would make a watch with one of my friends. I would bring him into my watch and me into his watch.
Okay. Well, I'm a big Messi fan as well. I'm a Lionel Messi fan, so he's linked with Barcelona. So that's good.
You got the Gaudi design as well. Could have a mosaic dial.
Yeah. So this is where I would start.
And Andy would have Big Ben.
Massive.
Yeah, big like a Venetian tower on a watch on a strap.
I'd probably rock it.
Just colours. Okay, what colours? Because our podcast colours are black and gold. And the logo is a tiger.
Yeah.
But recently we've got into this Miami Vice, which is turquoise and flamingo pink. So which one would you go for?
Why the tiger? And why the 7 on the logo? That stands out.
Okay, so 7 is for luck, because there's a lot of people that do this. When we started, there were a lot of people doing YouTube. Podcasting, there were quite a few, but there weren't many. When we started, not as many as there are now. So we thought we need some luck, so we'll stick 7 on.
Okay.
And then also, I'm a big football fan as well. So number 7 is usually the best player in the team. So we thought, And the tiger, as an animal I've always liked, but they say the lion is the king of the jungle, but the tiger is the unofficial king, if you see what I mean.
And it's for passion as well, right?
These wild animals, a lot of passion. Not aggression, but passion, yeah. Because one thing, when we started, the one word that people used to say to us was, we can see that you have passion, because we did everything out of our own pocket. We'd travel, we'd do these things. So passion was the word. So we had to have passion in the name. And the tiger's a passionate animal. Lions are the most passionate, right? But the tiger, it's like I say, it's the unofficial king. Yeah. So we're like the unofficial kings of watch podcasting.
That's really good for me. So I would use the tiger on the back case to engrave a closed back case with the tiger, definitely. I will probably do a baton dial as the one that you have here with the 7. So that would be really the signature. If I want to be a little bit subdued, I would do a black dial onyx, because that would be nice. But I would definitely highlight the 7 with a different color and switch the color. Gives Andy's color to Parm's and Parm's color to Andy. This kind of thing.
So I get grey. You get
I don't know. You get grey, or you get like his favorite color, or
turquoise.
Or Spurs colour.
Yeah, dark blue and white. Blue. There you go.
Yeah. Parm, are you like your cultural background is what?
So I'm of Indian heritage.
South Asian. Could we use like Gujarati numbers? Or is that...
No, I'm Punjabi.
Okay, so different writing. Yeah, so we could also play on this. This is something that is oftenly done. And Andy, any cultural heritage to play with?
I'm a big mix. So my family roots go with Swiss, actually, Irish, English, of course, and also Chinese. So I'm a cocktail.
Yeah, no, we could do this, and after, so this is a thread that I will pull on, and I don't know about the gold, because it could be a little bit a lot into the watch. And from there, I will, make designs and see if you like them. And the more fancy or the more adventurous you want to be, or if you want to have like a very professional kind of very sleek design. I said indeed that you like the less is more. And maybe Parm, you are a little bit more flamboyant and like...
Understated yet flamboyant. I don't know. It's hard to... I don't know. I can't describe myself. I find it changes daily. So... Maybe that's something you could work with.
The dial needs to change.
But yes, as you can tell from the background, yes, I like to put little memories of everything in my background. I'm sorry you can't see it. We'll get a photo on the show notes. By the way, check out the show notes to check out all of Armand's watches at www.chronopassion7.com, and you'll see all the watches we're talking about. And I'll send a picture of the background of my studio, shall we call it? But I like to put like I was a big boxing fan.
I like also to pile up stuff. I have full of stuff in like it's a memory wall here. Like every time that I have something important, I just pin it on the wall.
That's Star Wars, Miami Vice, there, Battlestar Galactica, just James Bond, just little things, football. I just put it all together. You wouldn't know unless I told you. It's one of those things. But anyway, we can't put all that in the design. But I just think I may have confused you a little. Watch. Yeah, just when the wind changes direction, that's where Parm's mood is.
And you, Andy, is a little bit more sober there.
Yeah, it depends. Although I do like blingy watches. It's a guilty pleasure. So I like the two-tone. I like solid gold. I like diamond details. I'm not afraid to say that, even though it's maybe frowned upon a little bit. But yeah, I like to be flush, but in an elegant kind of way.
I think if we are to make a project like this, the next step is definitely like taking the pencils and Photoshop and Illustrator, which are my best tools, and then make proposals and WhatsApp them to the customer and see how he reacts to the watch. That there is no really other way than to draw the watch, because I can describe it to a certain extent, but this is really when I am starting with Photoshop and Illustrator to make my design work, that I see how the mayonnaise is going to be made. So
Tudor Ranger then.
No. Well, we wanted to show what the process is like. Here you go. This is it.
Here you go. This is it. You're getting a live consultation.
This is it.
This is often the talk with the customers. It's probably more difficult if you're two, because like there is like two personalities.
I was thinking just for the podcast, not for us individually, just for like a memento of the pod. From what we've spoken about today and what you've met us, and what would you, just off the top of your head, would you still go for the Onyx style, the 7 at 7, and just normal indices, and then steel, gold? What would you?
I think I would probably, yes, I would go for the steel case, the golden bezel. I would go for the black dial or maybe extremely dark green dial.
Interesting.
And the tiger on the back. That could be a very nice combination.
Yeah, that sounds really
great.
good.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
the green sounds interesting as well. Yeah, nice.
And I like to pop up just a 7, some baton index, but just with a 7 on somewhere. Well, at 7, I mean, like just
at 7, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
And the tiger on the back. That sounds good. There you go. You have seen a live consultation with Armand. So if you do want to get a watch made for yourself, contact him. We'll drop his website address in the description and on the show notes.
Thank you very much.
So I think is it that time to close?
I think that's all we've got time for today. Armand wants to go.
Thank you very much.
Armand's going to rush away and draw this watch for us now, isn't he? We've challenged him.
We're going to get the invoice for the first.
Exactly. Yeah. How much is this costing us? I should have checked at the beginning.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Parm.
We're on the clock.
Yeah.
No, it's like like the lawyers starting.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't get me started on that. But no, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much, Armand. It's just been an absolute pleasure. So, Andy, see us out the show.
Thank you so much, Armand. It's been an absolute pleasure. I can only echo what Parm said there. I'll do the quick sign-off. So it's hasta luego, adios from Barcelona. You'll hear me on the next one. Thank you for listening. And yeah, that's it. Hand over to Parm.
And as Andy says farewell from Barcelona, Armand, is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners before you go?
And enjoy a very nice evening, guys. Travel and be open-minded.
Excellent. Thank you. And from London, it's Toodle Pip and laters, and we'll see you and you'll hear us in the next one.